If you watch the ads, I'm sure you've seen them, although a lot of Pennsylvanians are seeing them because there's a lot of ads out there right now. They would say that you want to defund the police, and it seems to be trying to frighten some folks. Can you set the record straight on that?
I not only don't want to defund the police, I'm the one calling for $300 million more for local police, for community policing. I also think we should add social workers and psychologists help police on 911 calls. The only person calling to defund the police is Donald Trump. Look at his budget. He calls for cutting police funding for state and local help by $400 million. Once again, he's pathological.
That was Joe Biden earlier today in Pennsylvania, being asked about recent Republican ads run in that state, which is, of course, one of the key swing states, suggesting he wants to defund the police. But Biden not only rejects that assertion, but turns it around on Donald Trump, saying that it's actually Trump that wants to reduce police funding, that wants to, in effect, defund local police in many parts of the country. And I'm not sure about this tactic, guys. You know me, I'm a supporter of defunding the police, but I wonder if this is the way for Biden to approach the issue. Now, a lot of conservatives are basically calling this a lie. And if you look at right-wing media, they're basically saying this is an example of crazy Joe Biden, cognitive decline, dementia Joe Biden, not knowing what he's talking about. But PolitiFact did do a look into this claim by Biden and found that it's at least mostly true. That Donald Trump's budget does include nearly $500 million, about $470 million of cuts to state and local police funding. Now, what that means in the nitty-gritty isn't necessarily clear, but that's certainly the case, that in some way, Trump is proposing cuts to the police, whereas Joe Biden is not only not planning to defund the police, but has suggested hundreds of millions of dollars of extra money for the police to do things like have them be better trained, to offer special expertise that will help make things safer for marginalized people when they interact with the police, and so on and so forth. And so Biden is really trying to lean into this law and order image to try and suggest that not only am I not beholden to the quote-unquote dangerous protesters, but actually I'm far more pro-local responsible police than the president is. I don't know if this is going to work, however. One, as I noted, whether it's true or not, Trump's supporters don't seem to believe it. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of moderate Republicans that have already said that, I'm done with Trump, are already with Biden. We see so many high-profile, well-funded efforts by former Republicans or by people who are still Republicans but won't support Trump, like the Lincoln Project, tout how there's this silent majority of good faith conservatives that will not support Donald Trump and that will only become Republicans again when the party is more quote unquote respectable, and that these are already the people that would maybe find some sort of, resonance with this Joe Biden law and order message, where Biden can say to these moderate Republicans, look, I get that some of what you're seeing in the cities concerns you, but I'm actually the one that's going to give the police more money so that the situation gets better and you won't see these protests anymore. Whereas Donald Trump, yeah, he'll look tough, but he's actually going to hurt the police and their ability to fund their projects. I don't know how many voters exist with that mentality that aren't already with Biden. These sort of law and order types that actually listen to facts and logic. There are law and order types that don't care. It doesn't matter to them. Trump is the law and order president because he's the conservative Republican. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters but that identity. So it doesn't matter what he says or what Biden says or what Biden says about Trump or what Trump says about Biden. None of that matters to that Trump constituency. They're almost beyond being reached by logic and facts and reason. But people could be lost by Biden with this messaging. If Biden continues to argue that he's the law and order president, that he's bragging about making the police richer than they've ever been, to stuff the coffers of cop money, just stuff them, pack them full of money, more money for cops than ever before, I don't know if that's going to play well with certain key constituencies of the Democratic Party. And you might argue, in counter to me, that these people are not going to ever go vote for Trump. That's true. You know, most black voters are not going to go vote for Trump. Most Bernie Sanders supporters are not going to go vote for Trump. Most Latinos, especially the ones that were open to voting Democrat, were not going to go vote for Trump. If these people don't vote for Biden, however, he can still lose their vote, and he could still lose them to a third party or to those people not voting at all or leaving their presidential vote blank or writing somebody in or what have you. And I think that when you're trying to convince these types of people, who I think are far more numerous and far more important when it comes to winning, given that Biden has already won over the moderate Republicans, when you try to convince them that Biden is substantively different than Trump on core social and economic and political and cultural issues, and then you're trying to tell them through Biden's wordings that I'm actually more pro-cop than Trump, it's going to backfire. It's going to totally backfire. I'm not suggesting that Biden lie about his plan, but what I am suggesting is he shouldn't lean into this messaging, which I don't even necessarily think is true, that, he's more pro-cop than Donald Trump. When you lean into that ideology, what you're telling people that don't trust the police, that think that Biden and Trump are the same, is that they are the same, or Biden might even be on some issues worse, and there's no point in voting for either of them. If Biden wants to win progressives, he needs to, more importantly, abandon his milquetoast neoliberalism and actually give real policies to them. But even if I don't think that's going to happen, he has to at least lean into the policies that distinctify him from Trump. $15 minimum wage and policies like that. Lean into the basic policies that make you better. Don't lean into this arms race with Trump over who is more of a neocon. That will not convince Trump voters to come over to you, but it will convince progressives to stay home in November.